Achoo!
Hi and welcome back to One Click In. My name's Greg and today I'm lucky enough to be reviewing a 2016 Triumph Street Triple R. I've also got next to me here the old bug-eyed 2009 Street Triple. It's not the R model, but this one does have upgraded suspension. It's got Daytona forks on it and a different shock as well. This is my wife's personal bike and I think she's well pleased with it. So getting back to the 2016 model, you can see they're a sleeker design. This has got the old original bug-eye. This has got the I'm a cool praying mantis type look. Lower bars as well. I've just been for a ride on the 2009, got straight off and back onto this one, and this one's definitely crisper. Of course it would be. It's a later model. It's got about 40,000 k's less on it. It's Triumph's mid-size naked bike. Very nimble, great for, well, as the name suggests, riding on the street. So when you go around the streets, it's very nimble. You can cut through traffic. It's geared really well, so it's not jumpy. It's not going to bite your head off, but it will just pull nice, and the power's linear. Beautiful from a triple. Always say I love a triple. Alrighty, straight out on the highway with the 2016 Street Triple R in fact. Nice and comfy. I do love a naked bike. They're so upright and comfortable to ride. Can't beat it. Seat's comfortable. Of course you have a bit more wind in your face, but that comes with the territory. So straight away I can notice that these are very low geared, doing 4 grand at 80 k's, indicated 80 k's. So yeah, great bike for the street. Probably not so much for touring. Obviously it's in the name, isn't it? Street Triple. But beautiful and comfortable, really nice. So I'm just going to head into town and do a bit of riding around on the streets and see how she reacts in town. So far beautiful and smooth. As I always say, you gotta love a triple, and I do love a triple. Beautiful day for a ride down the river here, really nice. So this is a good test of how well behaved the Street Triple is at low speed, and it's beautiful. It's not jumpy or anything. I'm just putting along in second and it's perfectly behaved, so you've got to be happy with that. This of course is pretty much the last of the 675s before they went to 765, so a bit of an end of an era, and this is the R model, so it's got a few extras like adjustable suspension, KYB suspension, and braided lines front and rear. So yeah, she's a winner. Beautiful bike. So it's passed the go slow street test, that's for sure. So well behaved. This one's also got the factory heated grips on the R model. I think that's a standard thing. Nissan front calipers, 4-pot calipers, work beautifully. Brembo on the back, not so fond of that, unfortunately. This also has the sleeker low pipe, which I do prefer. The old 2009 has the dual one sticking up by the seat, which would probably be heavier, or definitely be heavier as well. So a few improvements, definitely. Just a nicer look. The dashes are very similar. You can go through all the settings. This does have a fuel gauge though, which this one does not. It has a fuel light. This has a fuel gauge, which is a good thing. Also, this one has ABS. I can't find that you can switch it off on this particular model. I have read that you can on some of the models. You go through the settings and go into ABS and you can switch it off. I was unable to find that on this one, so maybe that's something they removed in the 2016. Realistically, you can get these for the right money. You can get these for pocket change now. And realistically, again, I'll say that, if you are coming off your L's and you want to step up to something, still do some street riding, probably not touring unless you like a lot of wind in your face. These are nice and cheap, and you could probably sell your learner bike and not pay much more, if any. Grab one of these. A few thousand more, you can get the later model here, and they are a step up, just crisper, nicer, leaner. Okay, so just heading home because the fuel light's on, so I'd better cruise on home. Having a really good time on this thing today. Beautiful weather. Roads aren't too bad. There's usually a bit of gravel around these roads, so I'll just take it easy. Seeing it's not my bike, I'm lucky enough to have this bike for a couple of days just to have a ride and have a test, do a bit of a review. I appreciate that, so I'll be careful with it to a point. Wow, Friday traffic. So here's a pilot's view, you might say. Tank's not too big, so it's not going to get in the way and put you off or have you reaching around it or anything. The riding position is really upright, so I'm sitting pretty much upright and I can just grab hold of the grip like this. Simple dash, simple switch gear. The bike end's there, which is funny. The first time you ride a naked bike, you think, where's the rest of it? But you soon get used to it, and it just feels more open. You have that true motorcycle riding experience where you've got the freedom, you've got the wind in your face. So yeah, I'm loving it. It's great. So just having a look at the dash here. This is the 2016 model, Street Triple R, and dash really isn't a lot different to this 2009 model over here. The 2016 model does have the addition of a fuel gauge on the side here, if you can see that. Not sure the camera's picking it up. It's got the usual stuff on it as well, all your trip 1, trip 2, your lap, and then go into your setup, time setup, units, Ks or miles per hour, lap setup, shift light setup, so you can change the RPM when you want that to light up. Then you can keep going through here and go return. Then in your next lot of items here, you have your litres per 100 Ks and your Ks to empty and a few handy things like that. Where this one is different to the 2009, this one's got ABS, so this light I'm pointing at here, every time you start the bike it will flash and it catches your eye. You think, what's that? But then when you start riding off, that goes out, so that's a fairly standard thing. Ergonomically, these bikes are really good, comfortable. They're like a big BMX, which I enjoy. I'm about 5'10", 175 centimetres, thereabouts, and I fit this bike perfectly. My wife's only about 5'4", and she's kind of on tippy toes on her bike, probably because it's a little bit higher with the aftermarket suspension. But I know taller guys that ride these things and they're fine with them as well. All the switch gear here is simple, which I think is great. You know, you haven't got buttons and knobs and joysticks and whatever everywhere. You've just got your usual old school switch gear. Heated grips on this one. It's got the factory heated grips, and so yeah, nice and simple, uncluttered, and I think they've done well. So the Street Triple R has nice styling, some nice simple graphics on here like this. As you can see, I'll do a bit of a comparison again. Subframe here as compared to the tubular one, if you can see that on the 2009. This has got the mega hugely loud Scorpion pipe on it. Nice and tucked under though, which is good. This one's also got the engine covers on it, which is a good idea if you have a bit of a tip over. All these small cowls on side are very, very nice indeed. Got your KYB forks here, braided lines, Nissan 4-pot calipers, which work very well. One thing I did notice here, I'll try to point this out, just here you see all these cables coming through. I noticed that when you do a full lock right, they're getting pulled on. I'm not sure you can see that, but I'll be telling the owner about this, and if it was my bike, I reckon I'd be loosening off this little clamp here and pulling through a bit more there, because that's no good every time you do a U-turn. That's going to get squished or pulled, yanked. So that's something I'd be doing. Other than that, this thing's spot on. Really nice bike. What I like about this bike is if you're going to go from a learner bike to this bike, you'd really appreciate the power, but it's not going to buck you off. You can open it up, and it goes, but it's not uncontrollable. Makes a beautiful note, pulls hard, but it's not going to tip you off the rear. However, if you give it a sniff of clutch at the right time, you can do this kind of thing. Yeah, boy. Okay, just to sum up, I've really enjoyed this 2016 Street Triple R. It's been a brilliant little bike, well behaved, not intimidating. And as I've mentioned in this review already, if you're coming off your L's, you learn a bike, and you want to step up to something, this would be a really good choice because, as I said, it's not intimidating, it's well behaved, it's light, it's easy to park. So all those things that you find difficult when you're a learner rider, this makes really simple. Having said that, if you're an experienced rider, still a great bike, plenty of power, you can open it up and it pulls hard, still revs nicely as well. Good brakes on the front, rears I'm not too fond of. Good suspension, which is fully adjustable as well. So brilliant little bike. I was happy to have it over the weekend, and while I'm saying that, thanks to Clive for lending me his bike over the weekend. Greatly appreciated, mate. And if you like this video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye-bye.